them once you know how to conduct yourself. This is all about business, and if you want to do business with them or not. And if you choose not to 100% do business with them, you are supposed to travel freely as you go. You can go in your boat right now and leave from here and go straight to the islands without any form of interruptions from their coast guards or anything like that. Right? But again, you're supposed to really understand this information before folks just jump. I'm not telling you to go jump in a boat and just go straight across the waters. I'm not doing that. Because you got folks out there that's that again is still getting themselves into certain situations and just thinking that saying you're an American Indian is the magic bullet and it's going to get you out of this. Like I said, when I was going through my legal situation, that American Indian stuff did not fly. It didn't work. I had to approach it from a executor standpoint. That's how I'd approach my stuff. You see what I'm saying? Anybody can say that they're American Indian, but you're gonna have to prove it. Prove it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. But pay attention to this, man. This is no joke. And she's really putting a lot of this stuff out there, massive level.
What's up, Fat Vegan? Hey, let me get a thumbs up if you can hear the video I'm playing.
Scan your face without your consent, all of our faces without our consent, and sell it to the government, all without our knowledge. Correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to seek unanimous consent on how Amazon actually met with ICE officials over the facial recognition system that could identify immigrants. I'd like to submit this to the congressional record.
Y'all can hear the video? Let me get a one in the chat if y'all can hear the video.
Ms. Gartley, in fact, it's not just Amazon that's doing this, right? It's Facebook, it's Microsoft, it's a very large amount of tech corporations, correct? That's correct. And do you think it's fair to say that Americans are essentially being consent or knowledge? I would make a bit of a distinction between what Facebook
y'all hear me?
and other
y'all hear the video?
companies are doing.
Put a thumbs up or one if y'all can hear me in the chat, or y'all can hear the video.
I will say most of the law enforcement agency systems operate on DMV databases or mugshot databases, so information.
Now pay attention. You see, they're literally telling you this whole shit is just one big scam, right? Now, again, they just told you that the majority of what they call law enforcement operates on the DMV database. This is why they need you to go register for a driver's license, even though when you are moving in your private in your personal vehicle, automobile, you are not driving, you are traveling, right? You are in your mothership moving from point A to point B. And there's a reason why I say it's a mothership. There's a reason why I call the automobile a ship. Because once you are within that automobile and you're going from point A to point B, you are in transport. Just like when you are
let me get a thumbs
you are
up.
transport.
Okay,
so if
y'all
you
hear
pull
the
up in a
video.
parking lot, you are docking.
Y'all hear
You know
the
what I'm
video.
saying? It's like ordering a package from UPS. You're in the same state with the UPS company, and UPS is shipping it to you, and they're shipping it to you through ground delivery service with the UPS truck. You see what I'm saying? So that truck is a ship that is shipping you your product, that is shipping you your package, right? So when they're using terms like ships and this and that within these treaties, it doesn't necessarily mean a boat. It's also speaking of an automobile, right? This is why they need you now to trick you into thinking what you're doing is driving, because driving is commerce. Driving is business. And in order to do business, to do commerce, you need a license. So now you go to the DMV, boom, 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 you get your mug shot, you get your mugshot taken, it goes in the DMV database. The DMV is now contracted with the policy enforcers, which is the police department. They're contracted with them to do business. Because they're contracted with them to do business, they have all access to the DMV database anytime they want. This is why when you're traveling, you have a passport, because the police department don't have access to the federal identification system. They don't have access to that. So when you hand a passport, they're going to be very pissed because they can't go into the federal database. That's why it's important to travel, not drive. They can't ticket you. Let's keep going.
Mic drop. That's a gem right there.
By agencies
That's a
rather than
gem.
companies. Thank you.
That's a gem.
And Mr. Ferguson,
Get
one of
your
the prime
passport
constitutional
and don't travel
concerns
with
about
driver's
the
license.
non-consensual
That's a
use
major
of facial recognition technology is rooted or alluded to in the 14th Amendment, correct?
That's a major key right there.
And right now, companies, governments, agencies can essentially steal or use your biometric data.
Go ahead and drop a live,
from you
man. Go ahead and
without
jump a live
consent.
on, man.
And this is outrageous, right? Because
Kick a
this is
live on
America,
so I can get up off
and
this
we
thing,
have
man.
a right to privacy. Isn't that right, Ms. Koliani?
I'm at work. You
That's
at work
absolutely
today?
right. And Ms. Koliani, what was the Supreme
drop.
Court case that identified the right to
I'm at the
privacy?
slave ship.
It's been, I don't remember the original one, but I mean, there's been a series of cases where the court has essentially said, look, with modern technology, it shouldn't mean that we don't have Fourth Amendment rights. And was there a landmark Supreme Court decision that established that we've seen recently? You know, we've seen the Carpenter case where the court said that it was unconstitutional to warrantlessly surveil individuals. We've seen cases where the court has also said that you can't search a cell phone without a warrant and to arrest.
This is why I'm trying to get to 1,000
with
people.
relation to the 14th Amendment, it was
And for some reason, my HOTC passcode wasn't working on HOTC Universal. I was trying to drop a live from there, but it wasn't working.
Now, Pete, there's an organic, natural law treaty of peace, right? That is something that was instilled within all of us when we manifested on this planet. When we were born, when our mothers pushed us out, right? When we came from the womb of our mothers, there was something that was organically embedded within our codex, within our genes of knowing right from wrong, of understanding thou shalt not harm so-and-so or destroy so-and-so's property. You see what I'm saying? That is an organic treaty of peace that is within everyone. Now, the whole facial recognition stuff that they're speaking of and everything that they're speaking of, and when it comes to even search warrants and stuff, again, as long as you are identifying as in something inorganic, like an African American or a black person, by law, those are properties of the United States Incorporated by law. And this is what I want folks to understand, because people will get all in their feelings and talk about, nigga don't know what you're talking about. No, you don't know what you're talking about. And if you use that same pro-black mentality, that ignorance, to think you're going to go there and hands up, don't shoot all day, they will never, ever respect you. They'll always mace you, tear gas you, and shoot you down like a dog because they're treating what they call their property on these legal documentations, and you are going out every day agreeing to it. While there's folks like me and other folks out there letting you know that the world runs off of nationality, and if you're not proclaiming your nationality, then you're proclaiming to be the next man's literally bitch. So he's going to bitch you every single time. Every single time. Every single time. If you're operating off of nationality and you are keeping the treaty of peace of not causing injury to anyone's property, their search warrant, these things, it's not for you. Because now they have to come at you in a way where you have committed a crime. And if you have not breached the peace, you have not committed no crime.
Talk.
So they have no reason to come at you. They have no reason to pull you over to talk about your blinker's not working. They have no reason to come walk up to you and talk about, oh, let me just pat you down. They have no reason, none of that. None of that.
No
They're not
right.
supposed to be collecting no form of personal data, no form of facial recognition data, none of these things on you. But because majority you identify as an artificial entity, they can do whatever they want and get away with it. They can shoot you down dead in the street and pay the ransom in the courtroom at these civil cases, and they paid for the act. They paid and gave you remedy, which is that civil cases your remedy, right? So now they don't have to be tried and convicted for a murder charge because you done took the goddamn money. It's called a ransom, something like that. I think it's a ransom. It's called. But they literally paid for the act. Right? You have to know the legal realm. Really know it. Stop letting people talk about, conspiracy theory. And then you run because you see the video probably got 500,000 views and say, he's talking about a conspiracy theory. It's not true. And you didn't even go do your research yourself. Right? You don't know what these words mean that these people are using. You think when they're saying and, you think and is like regular, like Mary Jo and Tom. Not knowing the and means something different in legalese. This is how they talk to you in your face every day, legalese. And you're not catching on. Right? Let's keep going.
Must have, because that right to privacy is alluded to part of the case in our right to privacy, is that this doesn't just give us a right to my uterus. It gives me a right to my hand and my shoulders, my heads, my knees, my toes, and my face. And so in some ways, part of the case, although it's not all of it, there's a great deal rooted in the 14th Amendment with search and seizure, but in our right to privacy, we also see here that this is about our entire body, our right to our entire body. And the similar principle that keeps a legislator out of my womb is the same principle that would keep Facebook and algorithms off of all of our faces. And so do you think it's fair to draw that connection?
I think that when we're talking about privacy, it is important to think about more than our face, right? So we're seeing the FBI use things like voice recognition and gait recognition, all different types of biometrics that I think fundamentally raise some of the same privacy concerns that have been talked about by all the panelists today.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Bulamwini, I heard your opening statement, and we saw that these algorithms are effective to different degrees. So are they most effective on women?
No.
Are they most effective on people of color?
Absolutely not.
Are they most effective on people of different gender expressions?
No, in fact, they exclude them.
So what demographic is it mostly effective on?
White men.
And who are the primary engineers and designers of these algorithms?
Definitely white men.
So we have a technology that was created and designed by one demographic that is only mostly effective on that one demographic, and they're trying to sell it and impose it on the entirety of the country.
So we have the pale male data sets being used as something that's universal when that isn't actually the case when it comes to representing the full sepia of humanity.
And do you think that this could exacerbate the already egregious inequalities in our criminal justice system?
It already is.
Thank you very much. I yield the rest of my time to the chair.
How so?
So right now, because you have the propensity for these systems to misidentify Black individuals or brown communities more often, and you also...
Now, what they're speaking on is this. Because they're using because Amazon, Facebook, all these social media apps that is scanning your face through your camera phones, your smartphones, through your TVs, they're scanning your imagery. And if you have been accused of a crime, of theft, or any, and went to jail for it, or was locked up for it, but then later on was found innocent, that you didn't really commit what you was falsely accused, that you're still put on a suspect list to where now it gives ICE and all these other agencies justification to come and F with you and deport you and send you back to wherever it is that you came from. This is what they're using it as. So your police department, your Amazon providers, your so-and-so, they're selling your imagery to third market companies to ICE. Now, this is why when you get all these scam lightly phone calls, all day your phone ringing, you don't know their phone number, right? It's the same phone company that's selling your information to a third-party company. What it is it's a new form of human trafficking through database, okay? Of human trafficking through database. They're using their computer system to traffic your imagery all throughout these corporations, and then eventually one of their representatives is going to come and snatch you up, kidnap you up off these streets. And again, this is why nationality is important. If you're watching a lot of shows, a lot of movies, or those who watch animes and stuff, you're going to see references made towards what they're saying, END, the end. END, the end. You're going to see a lot of these things start happening now. They're speaking on how they're going to use technology to shut you down for those who are operating as their corporate property. Okay? Black, African American, or corporate properties. Those are not nationalities. And because you see them put them on applications, it's still not a nationality. If you don't understand what a nationality is, then you're going to be screwed, because you always go ahead and check that African American or that box that says black as a nationality. It's not. Mark those boxes out or an X next to them, and you write in your nationality, right? Some of y'all are going to go and put that you're African. Some of y'all probably are Africans. Some of y'all are going to put that you're descendants of, when you're not.
Don't worry about this.
The responsibility is on you
right here, away from the wall.
to know your history.
Yeah, I'm just like, don't
right?
go close to the wall. Anything that's
the responsibility is on you to know your history, to know your nationality, which is what your genealogy is there for. And your genealogy, we're not talking about when you go do this fake DNA test. There's literally the paper trail that traces back your family lineage through your genealogy. You will know who you are. If your great grandparent had Negro or colored on their birth certificate, or it just didn't say anything, it means that you're an American Indian. This goes to the folks in the islands, because this goes to the folks in the islands and the mainland, right? Because folks in the Caribbean and the West Indies, a lot of our birth certificates nowadays don't mark anything. It's blank. It doesn't say black. It doesn't say Negro. It doesn't say descendant of African. It doesn't say African. It's just blank. It doesn't say Jamaican. It doesn't say Trinidadian. It's just blank. It don't say nothing on there. It's just blank. That's because they're covering up the fact that you are the original Indians that Columbus came and saw when he came to Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, and the Bahamas. When he came to those 4 places. Right? And then it goes back into now when you're looking at the maps of those times where all the places that they were calling the Americas, which is the entire Caribbean or West Indies, mainland and South America, this entire hemisphere is called America on a whole. Okay? So when they're doing these facial recognition stuff and you're getting sent back to the islands, you're getting sent back to South America, you're getting sent back to the islands for things that are not criminal offenses. That's not a crime. You didn't harm anyone, and you didn't injure anyone's property. You're not supposed to be getting no form of deportation because you didn't breach the peace.